to another episode of your favorite satirical wrestling news show, So Says Shernoff. My name is Josh Shernoff, and man, has this year kicked off strong. From my appearance on the debut show of ACW from the famed Mid-Hudson Civic Center, to my appearance on The People versus GCW at the famed Hammerstein Ballroom, to my appearance on this show right now from this famed deskless studio. And that's just my January. The rest of the wrestling world has also had some exciting things happen, so let's take a look at this month's headlines. A lot to unpack in the new year. Raw is Netflix, SmackDown is 3 hours, and AEW Dynamite is so excited to be on Max. That's right, AEW debuted a new intro to Dynamite. The video is great, the music is the 1982 hit single So Excited by the Pointer Sisters. I mean, nothing says we're the young, hip alternative quite like using a song that's old enough to be MJF's parents. The video package itself is incredible, showcasing their roster, their moments, their energy. But this song, Tony Khan, I know you love statistics, so here's one for you. There have been 42 years of music released since this song came out. That's like choosing to watch wrestling in black and white when you have a 4K TV. And it's not even about the age of the song. If Tony Khan was dead set on 1982, you're telling me Eye of the Tiger wasn't available? A song literally written for a movie about fighting? Or Judas Priest, You've Got Another Thing Coming. Even Rock of Ages by Def Leppard would have made more sense, but no. We got the song most famous for being used in that one scene from Saved by the Bell where Jesse Spano has a caffeine addiction. Speaking of addiction, WWE sure is addicted to 3 hours of TV. They just couldn't quit those 180 minutes of wrestling. After the world celebrated Raw's return to 2 hours, WWE decided the next logical step was to move SmackDown to 3 hours, while Raw stays at 2 hours, or 3 hours, or 2 hours, 26 minutes. That's right, Raw is in the streaming business now, which means they can finish whenever they want. Like Vince McMahon on a, nope, not reading that. Raw is on Netflix, yes. The debut show had everything for everyone. If you're a diehard fan, they had Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. If you're a lapsed fan, they had The Rock. If you're a fan of booing 80s icons who've fallen from grace, they had Hulk Hogan. The beer-shilling Hulkster was led to the stage by Jimmy Hart, an American flag, and an arena full of booze. And I'm not talking about the real American beer kind of booze. I'm talking about the ones you hear. Hogan was booed out of the building. It was embarrassing and depressing. The only people who couldn't hear Hogan getting booed were his new Fox News fans, and even they saw it in the captions. Plenty of people said it was political because of Hogan's ties to President Trump, which would make sense if they hadn't just gone nuts for Triple H and The Undertaker. Whether it's his political ties, his past racism, his more current racism, or his overall disingenuous behavior in interviews, the fans have spoken. Hulkamania is dead. Or is it? Because if there's one thing wrestling fans love more than performative outrage, it's a work shoot, brother. Rumor has run wild that Hogan may return to TV and lean into the booze, become a heel to the woke and a hero to the, I guess, asleep. I'm not really sure the antonym for that one, but do we really need a new heel Hogan who can't wrestle? I mean, sure, the first heel Hogan couldn't wrestle, but he could still wrestle, you know? Either way, Hulk's appearance on Raw was a blemish on an otherwise incredible night. And if that was the only time Triple H missed that night, well, good on him. I just hope he doesn't miss again for a long, oh, no. Hey, can we talk about MJF for a second? While fans online speculate about his potentially waning enthusiasm and supposed regrets about re-signing with AEW following accusations of a phoned-in promo, I'm more concerned about whatever is happening with his spray tan situation. The evolution of wrestler tanning is quite something to behold. Gone are the days when wrestlers would simply bake themselves to a nice, respectable, precancerous leather in tanning beds or under the natural sun. Now we're witnessing a veritable rainbow of artificial pigmentation in the ring. While Matt Cardona has mastered the art, achieving the coveted NWO Hollywood Hogan shade, others seem to be experimenting with more unique colors. Adam Cole appears to be going for concerned medical professional with his jaundice hue. Braun Breaker has somehow achieved what can only be described as aggressive citrus. And then there's MJF, who's walking a very fine line between Miami Beach and cultural appropriation. Which brings us to the burning question. Is MJF's questionable tan application a result of genuine incompetence? Or is this another layer of his heel persona? Could bad spray tanning be the newest form of heat generation in professional wrestling? One thing's for certain. In an industry where performance is everything, these spray tans, these mishaps, are giving us an entirely different kind of performance art. And whether intentional or not, MJF's particular shade of whatever that is has people talking, which just might be exactly what he wants. After all, in wrestling, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Well, maybe there is. We'll be right back. Has this ever happened to you?
Hey Dad, can you yeet me the new Jey Uso figure? And I want the Randy Orton toy.
I think I've got this covered. When your kids want the latest wrestling figures, don't waste money on new ones.
That's not Randy Orton.
That is Randy Orton from 2002. Even has his original haircut.
Dad, this isn't Jey Uso.
Even better, it's Kurgan.
No, Yeet.
And don't forget about your little princess. Hey sweetie, look what I found.
What is this?
It's the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock.
I asked for a Kendall.
And you got one. Pre-owned wrestling figures. Kids might hate them, but your wallet will thank you. So this was originally Goldust, then he became Sabu, and I think I may have set him on fire. Welcome back to the show. Today, we are diving into what I like to call the teddy bear test. Just bear with me. Get it? Bear with me. Anyway, back in the 90s, WWF had this line of wrestling teddy bears. Basic concept, regular teddy bears wearing wrestler outfits. Yellow tank top, Hulkster. Black hat and trench coat, Undertaker. Tassels and sunglasses, Macho Man. That's it. And they sold like crazy because these characters were so distinct. You could recognize them from their gear alone. Now try that today. Most modern wrestlers would fail the teddy bear test miserably. Look at the AEW roster. While their gear quality is top-notch, what truly stands out? It's just endless variations of black pants with different trim and pointless belt loops, or those overcomplicated designs that look like someone threw a wrestling logo into a blender with tribal art. And the women's division? Bare with sparkly gear. Choose from template A, B, or C. Sure, the materials are premium and the craftsmanship is excellent, but there's nothing distinctive when everyone's wearing slight variations of the same thing. But while that's the vast majority, there are some standouts. Danhausen, Timeless Tony Storm, Darby Allin, they got the message on how to stand out like a star. So did people like Matt Cardona out on the Indies and Joe Hendry in TNA. It's not about an elaborate costume. It's about a unique look. Just look at WWE and Jey Uso, LA Knight, Bianca Belair. They'd all pass the teddy bear test. The Pure Fusion Collective, not so much. Honestly, they don't even pass the name people can remember test. Look, today's gear is technically better. The craftsmanship is incredible. Wrestlers look amazing in 4K. But we've traded stadium-sized characters for Instagram-ready detail work. 10,000 perfectly stitched sequins, but nothing that pops from the cheap seats. It's like we're so busy admiring the trees, we've forgotten how to make the whole forest stand out. And maybe that's the real lesson here. In an era where everyone can order custom gear that looks amazing up close, we've forgotten that wrestling isn't meant to be viewed through a microscope. It's larger than life. It's grand gestures and big characters. It's being able to spot your hero from the nosebleed seats because, let's face it, in 2025, the only seats most of us can afford are in the nosebleeds. Well, in WWE, AEW tickets just cost you your time and dignity. The point is, at the end of the day, if your character can't be simplified down to a teddy bear that a kid would recognize, maybe you're not as over as you think you are. Maybe we should take a long, hard look back at the golden age of wrestling. Maybe we should all look in the mirror and ask ourselves, am I really doing my best to be like Hulk Hogan? Well, that's our show. Join us again next month. And hey, while you're at it, join me and my least favorite friend, Dave Sturcio, every week on the Wrestling Hour podcast, early and ad-free on adfreeshows.com. This has been So Says Shernoff, because that is what Shernoff had to say. See you next time.